Welcome back to episode 3 of the Night Audit with your host, Chaz Barnes. Episode 2 is out. I know I was up last night. I was working in the wee hours of the morning. I got to bed a little bit after 1. The last video, I had to trim it. I had to chop it down a little bit. I got it at 40, but it got cut off at about 30 minutes or so. So I was watching it and whatnot. I had to do a lot of the technical boring stuff I'm still learning. I had to export the file after doing all the editing. The editing took a little minute. And then that took a little second. Then it was like 11:30. It was coming up on 11:30 hour. And I was just like, oh, I'm 2 hours late from normally I will take a shower and brush my teeth and settle down and whatnot. But with doing these episodes now, things had to get pushed back. So I didn't really get into the bed, like I said, until like at 1 o'clock or so. And so I had it premiered at 11:30. I mean, not 11:30. After a while, I'm going to stop premiering it. Probably after this week, I'll probably just pick times to drop it, and then we go from there. So yeah, that took a lot of time. Yeah, like I looked at the time. I had the game on in the background, and I was monitoring it. The conversation was going good. And I said, okay, I thought I'd be done about 10:15. And then that kind of gave me a little time to edit everything. And then by 11 o'clock, I can be winding on down, setting everything up, doing all the socials and the final tweaks and stuff. So yes, that is a job in itself. That was about, I say around like the 8 o'clock hour to like 1. We talking about like what, 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours or so, give and take. So the grind doesn't stop. The 9 to 5, build your dreams with your 9 to 5. I mean, your 5 to 9. So how is everybody doing? Awesome. My day, due to the fact of all of the work I was doing last night, my day was a little off, whatnot. I got pulled. I was at work. I got pulled to do something else. I got pulled to do a task that I thought that will take, I had to say maybe an hour and a half tops. I did take a lunch. I went to lunch a little bit after 1 o'clock. I just didn't take my break. So I tried to work through, and there was other issues I had to like handle. And I was just like, okay, I'm off tomorrow. So I'm trying to do what I can, trying to be a good team player. So I'll be back in tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, I'm sorry. Be back to work Thursday. Yeah. Yeah, all the boring stuff. So yeah, I left out of here. I want to say a little bit after 7:27 this morning. And I'm making this face because I was also working on trying to get the comment section. I was trying to pin a comment. I was trying to pin a question to the comment section. And I didn't know that when it's your first time, like it was not my first time on YouTube, but when it's your first time using certain features, well, you got to be verified. And so I try to verify with my driver's license, and my camera is a little bit shitty, and I need a new phone anyway. But I'm trying to hold on as long as I can. So hopefully before summer end, we get a new phone. They couldn't verify by the driver's license. And so I did it through a 6-second video. They was able to do it. So it kind of cut into my time I normally would like pack up everything for my day and then get going. And I will do a video where I talk about my morning routine a little bit more in depth. But normally I try to be out the door about 7:20. Because if y'all ever see the title of this video, anybody's from the Atlanta area or whoever visit to the Atlanta area know about 285. 285 is undefeated. Okay? It's undefeated. Matter of fact, I think every portion of the corridor in the Metro Atlanta is undefeated. Okay? Okay. So I try to because I also deal with school traffic, as many commuters of Atlanta or most major metropolitans around the country, you deal with some form of school traffic, especially if you're coming from the suburbs, coming into the city. You're gonna hit some school traffic. Everybody, and plus every driver got the same ideas you got. They be like, well, you know what? I'm trying to find a cutaway to get around this and get around that, and so kind of creates a bottleneck. With that, when I moved, I used to stay in Dunwoody. So anybody's familiar with the Atlanta area. It's not Atlanta. It's a suburb in DeKalb County. It just has an Atlanta zip code. I have to make that very clear to people because everybody who's from out of town, they think everything is Atlanta. I say, no, 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 no. Everything's not Atlanta, okay? It's not Atlanta. Or they might say Atlanta proper. So I used to commute from Dunwoody to Peachtree Corners, I say about 15 minutes tops, maybe 20, but 15, give and take. And so that went from 15 to 35 minutes plus because of traffic. I don't have to be to work until like 8:30. Used to be to work at 7, so I used to have to get up a little bit earlier. When I was in Dunwoody, I get up. I can kind of get up around 6 and be out the door by 6:30 or 6:40. 6:45, 6:50 is pushing it. It's pushing it to get down Highway 141 to get to work on time. And then I gotta park my car, then I'm rushing and all that stuff like that. So I was like, nah. So now where I'm at, I have to take 285 right where the jail at. So the DeKalb County Jail, and then I will get on 285 north that way. Well, I was doing that for a while. And I was getting to work when they changed our schedule, whatnot, from 8:30 to 4:30. Getting home is not the problem. I work out. So there are days during the week where I work out where by the time that I get on the highway, traffic is moderate. It's not heavy. It's not the peak of it. When I get off at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and if I'm coming home, that is when it hits. And it normally takes me about, if I get off at 4:30, it takes me about, almost 5:50 to get home. Or maybe if it's a little bit after 5 o'clock, maybe like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Most people know I cut through Clarkston. I get off at Lawrenceville Highway and I cut through Clarkston, and I when traffic is heavy. Now, when traffic is not heavy, I'll just ride the exit and get off at my exit and then go home from there. The only issues, which was traffic was heavy. It would put me, if I get, I had to time it. So bear with me. I had to time it. I had to try to make sure that I'm out the house by 7:25. Get to the car, get everything in the car, get everything settled, and then I'm on my way. But again, have to hit not a little school traffic, but there is a little pile up. It's a little build up. It's a little build up right before you make the turn. Some people might be familiar with what I'm talking about. And so the issues were that, let's say for example, if I'm trying to get to work by 8 o'clock, if I'm on a highway by 7:30, which is not a problem, coming from that exit, it's okay. But it may take me about 15 minutes to get up to the I-85 corridor. I don't get off at I-85. I got to pass through it and then get around the bend, get around the other 285 traffic to get onto Highway 141. And there's a lot of bottlenecks going on right there. So I had maybe one day, it took me a whole hour to get to work. I was late. I was like 5 minutes late. I was like, I can't do this shit. I said, oh no, I can't wait. I can't wait for the day I can move back to Dunwoody or Sandy Springs, maybe up in that area, whatnot. I said, what's the quickest way to get to 25 north? I said, oh, I can drive down this street, cut through Clarkston. So I started cutting through Clarkston, and I would go over the railroad tracks, and I didn't know anything about, you can't make a left turn between the hours of 7 and 9 and 4 and 6. I didn't know. You can make a left turn, but you can't make the left turn once you get over the railroad tracks. You either got to go straight or you got to go right. If you go left, if Clarkston Police Department see you, they will pull you over. So I'm like, hey, I'm making a left turn. I'm driving and I seen the police officer. So he stopped. I'm thinking like he's stopping because, he's going to let me go. I'm like, okay, he stopped for me, whatnot. As soon as I made the turn, he threw his lights on. I said, shit. Never been pulled over by police. And, you might say, oh my God, was you nervous and all that? No, the only thing I was a little like peed off about is I was on my way to work. I was like, ah, shit, man, I'm gonna be late for work. I said, dang, because I don't know how, these interactions, I don't know how they going, I mean, you see videos, but I'm looking like, okay, well, I'm calm. And I rolled all my windows down. I have tents on my windows. You might say, well, trash, you got tents on your windows. But I don't do that. I don't be on no funny shit at all. Again, this is the look that draws you in. I don't be on that funny shit at all. And the officer talked. He said, "Hey, did you know you couldn't make a left turn at the railroad tracks?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, you had to know because you made the turn. I saw you made the turn at left." I said, "Sir, I didn't give him no static, but I said a lot of cars do it." So I'm thinking like, I mean, again, when you get to the stop, when you have to stop, okay, but most drivers, I have a dash cam, and again, my dash cam is positioned off in the view. So who's looking at the bottom of the stop sign and saying, oh, well, during these hours, you can't make these left turns through Monday through Friday. Now, Saturday and Sunday, you can make all the left turns, right turns, all the turns in that section. And so, but the officer was polite. He was like, it's no problem. I got a citation or whatnot. I got to pay the citation when I get paid this Friday, so I don't have to go to court. It's nothing but like, I was like, all right, I'll take care of it, whatnot. But it was just like, I got to work. And then you might say, did I get to work on time? I did. I actually did. The officer was like, I started eating my banana. He was like, oh, your breakfast? I said, yeah. He said, hope the rest of your day go well. And I said, oh, no, man, it's fine. But by the time I done with the interaction, everything was normal. Everything was like, oh, I was like, okay, all right, I'm on my way to work. It's still in traffic. So that's my cut. Now you might say, well, do I go that way? I still go that way, but what I do is I start going after I got the ticket and everything. I just start to go through like where the stop sign at and just go down with an overpass at, drive down with overpass at, I think where Ponce and I'll go through the light. The only issue is school traffic is right there. So when you're trying to get to Lawrenceville Highway, there's school traffic. So it's like, so again, it's traffic before the traffic. And I did that for like a week or two, and I was just like, you know what? I know school is about to be out, so I might be able to, if I want to go that way, I can go that way. But I have the option to go the regular way I used to go or the other way. There might still be traffic, but it may not be the typical traffic that we normally would see when school is in session. So what I decided to do was I said, hey, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go through the stop sign, go down the overpass, and I'm going to bust a left. But I'm going to get in the turning lane that turns you onto Church Street, that turns you onto this, turn you on that road. I'm just going to ride the road back up. It's not that far. I'm going to ride the road back up to be on the main road to put me onto 285 North where I'm a little bit closer. Now, I know you might say, well, gas prices and this, I understand, but it's not, it's a pain point, but it's a workaround because I can't go. Now, I can go over, but I would have to turn into the gas station. And that might be technically illegal to do that because it's not through traffic. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be like, okay, let me drive over the railroad tracks and then cut into the parking lot and go back. Nah, you're going to get a ticket for that. You're going to get a nice fat ticket for that. All right. So if y'all enjoying this, man, drink my bubbly. They're not sponsoring this channel yet. If y'all liking this, y'all liking my commentary so far, hit that like button. But anyway, so my commute to work most Fridays, surprising enough, most Fridays with 285 heading up that way. Well, there's still traffic, but the traffic is a little moderate where I can drive at 55, 65 miles per hour at times, 60 miles per hour. The slowest you go is like, 5-10 miles per hour. There are a couple accidents. I don't see as many accidents, but it's accidents here and there. And typically, if I try to, again, like I said, my goal is to try to be out the door. So my leave times, my departure times are typically 7:27. I mean, I try to get to the point where I can get on the highway by 7:35. I can get on the highway by 7:35, then I don't have to be working till 8:30, but I want to be early. if that makes sense. I don't want to just be getting there on time. I want to be early. I want to be 15, 20 minutes early if I can, because I might have to sit for a second after the traffic, log on my phone, check some stuff, and then before I head inside and do my job, do my work. So yeah, it's not bad. Now, if I stayed a little bit further down 285, I definitely would be like, oh, I mean, there's over it, and there's like, I'm over this shit. I need to find a way to move closer. I need to do something. So like I have people that live like in like Thonia, coming to a lot of folks got to come up that way, but it's just depending on what time you got to be worried. Like me, I got to be worried by 8:30, and that like if I move down that way, I would have to be out the door by 7 o'clock in the morning to give myself a chance to be worked by 8 o'clock. That traffic is hell, man. It's probably hell. Like trying to like when you get more up to 285, it's like, oh man, the coming home part is very tolerable for me because I can cut around it. You know what I mean? There's multiple exits I can get off at. Typically is the Lawrenceville Highway exit and then just cut through. Now everybody got the same idea there. I'm not saying I don't see traffic, okay, but the traffic isn't as bad because everybody by that point I'm already where I need to be at. When I have to go to the gym, I mean, there's a little traffic, but I don't have to sit in it. If I'm going to the gym, I sit in the traffic maybe 10, 15 minutes, if that, and then work out. And then I'm done my workouts by 7, maybe 7:45, 8 o'clock. And then I'm home, by 8:30. Okay. I typically probably put music on, put a podcast on. I put a if I haven't listened to a devotional or gotten to my devotional, I throw a devotional on. So my survival guide, I just say the first thing, everybody know who lives here. You gotta leave early. You got to leave early. Okay. Early is the word. Okay. Leave very early. Do not leave on time. I don't care if you gotta go to the courthouse. Okay. Do not leave on time. Okay. Leave or a dentist appointment, doctor's appointment, whatever. Leave early. Okay. Leave. You gotta deal with this stuff. Leave early. Wake up early. I typically now I mean I get up at like 6:45. I mean, well now I have my latest alarm is 6:45. But my earliest now is 6:35. And that little sometimes that 5 to 10 minute difference that 5 to 10 minute differential can make the difference of arriving where you need to be by 10, 15 minutes ahead of time. So if there's some tomfoolery on the traffic on the perimeter, well, you already are on time, but you just a little delayed, but you got a little time. Got a little time on you. Heck yeah. So and it's like, yeah. It's the worst. Like I said, the worst thing for me was I took an hour to get to work because I was adjusting to the new schedule. Because I was like, I would for all my 4 years I've been working where I've been working at, my times are either coming in at 6 a.m. in the morning or 7 in the morning. And they started talking about 8:30 and 9 o'clock. I said, but I mean, traffic is a truth, but it can't be the excuse. You got to make the adjustment. So for me, getting up early enough, to give myself a little leeway. So just in case if I got to get up on here and maybe a last minute edit or do some last minute tweaking, I give myself a little buffer there. Yeah. Yeah. So in the future, I expect to try to move back where I was. I'm not saying I wouldn't deal with any traffic, but the traffic wouldn't be as much as what I'm dealing with now. But I think I probably would definitely lose my mind more if I stayed a little down the perimeter trying to come up to get to Peachtree Corners. I'll have to find another job at that point, or maybe find something closer. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, the ideal commute time for me, I find it that if I'm going to do it, it needs to be no more than 30 minutes. I could say 35 minutes, but anything that's kind of like pushing an hour or so, then I have to when I used to work in Stone Mountain, I used to live in Clarkston. Man, it took me about 7, 8 minutes to get to work. So I can cheat. You know what I'm saying? I can leave the house at 6:50. The only thing was, and I didn't have a car, calling the Uber had to be, now I had to be mindful of that, calling Ubers and whatnot. So yeah, I know the rising cost of fuel and stuff like that. I know that's like a major concern. I dealt with it 4 years ago. I had to deal with 285 traffic when at my last job I used to work for before I got let go 4 years ago. That was my taste of driving on 285. So I had to go from Clarkson to Chamblee and Chamblee to, and then the thing that they allowed us to do was the ones that worked in the area, we had the option of coming in early, like at 6 a.m. and leave, like work from 6 a.m. to 3, or you come in at 7 and leave at 4. And if you can grab some overtime if you want to. But that's a different story. Yeah, but it get crazy. It get crazy on 285. It gets wild. People know police activity. Somebody there's especially when you coming home. Oh my goodness, emergency trucks, hero trucks, 411 trucks, 511 trucks. People rubbernecking, trying to some people aggressively trying to get over, Whew. So yeah, but you make the adjustment. I mean, like I said, I make the most of it. So I'm not, if I'm driving. Some people probably been on the road since an hour, and they probably be nowhere close to their destination. Yeah. So I think that's a good question to ask. What is your typical commute? Put in the comment section, or what is your commute? But if you're a metropolitan around the country, like, what's your typical commute? Because Atlanta's up there, but I know that's Los Angeles, I know that's Miami, I know that's Boston, I know that's Philadelphia, I know that's Detroit. Tell me, and what are your workarounds? What do you do? And if you got any horror stories, please, by all means, share. So if you like this episode, like it, share it. To the next time. Hold on, let me drink my bubbly right quick. Oh yeah. I be having my bubbly too. I be drinking sometimes with my bubbly. Coming home, I drink my bubbly. I crack open a bubbly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a drinker at all, so this is what you get. Or in the morning times, I drink a water and have a banana. All right, y'all. Peace out.